Hello and welcome to Black Mind Games Podcast, episode 321. I think it's 321. It's probably 320. Who gives a shit? My name is Jeff. I'm a fucking piece of shit and probably going to be eliminated from humanity eventually in about 80 or 20 years. Not looking forward to it, listener. Joining me this week is Josh. Josh's due date is 70 years from this point in time.
100?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I'm giving Josh 100 years.
Sure,
You know what? 100 and something? Sure, whatever. But at that point, I would be like, you got a gun on you? I probably would want to shoot myself.
Josh, you just have to think about the glorious Magic of the Gathering cards.
Oh, you kidding? I full on predicting that when I get 100, I'd be like, man, Magic was cool, and then they shit the bed, and now they're non-existent.
Magic was so cool, and I'll just be sitting there, a robot in a jar, in a brain in a jar, and then like just force feeding Josh ice cream, going, "You can have ice cream now."
Oh, God.
There is only ice cream.
No, my bowels.
Joining me also this week is Allan, who will also be a robot feeding Josh ice cream in 50 to 20 years.
50 to 20? What?
Yes, because you'll be in the military, and they'll probably be like, he's expendable.
No, I'll be an officer. Officers are not expendable,
He
unfortunately.
is doubly expendable.
What?
So what, are you telling me I'm used as chemical warfare?
Yes.
Oh, no.
You'll be chained to a chair with like one of those gowns, and you'll be fed ice cream, and then you're. This joke is not going good. Anyways, let's end it.
Yeah.
Much like fecal matter warfare. Much like the fecal matter warfare that goes on, that we're talking about in 20 to 30 years. Kotaku decided to drop a mad fecal matter warfare on Nintendo for some weird reason. Mainly because they decided that Samus was too good at being the best female character, who is better than all other video game characters, excluding maybe a couple.
Like, what's okay? First, what's the article, and second, what's the thing they're talking about?
So, to explain the story behind this article, I was completely ignorant of this. I did not want to know. I didn't care. This happened because Ben, great podcast hoster Ben, sent me a message regarding a headline that read something along the lines of, Metroid Dead is already running great on Switch emulators. Which, if you don't know what that means, listener, it means it's running great on Switch emulators, which is a known fact. Now, here at the Black Mind Games podcast, we don't advocate for piracy. We don't advocate for that stuff because we think it's wrong. So I'm going to say this. If you want to go to a store and buy a copy of Metroid, please do. It's a really good game. It's fantastic. And then if you want to ROM it or burn a ROM, that's fine by us. You're allowed to do that. But Kotaku doesn't even do that. Kotaku sits there and outright tells you how to get a ROM and where to actually run the actual Switch emulator. which isn't a big issue. Oh yeah, it's in topic list resources, Josh, by the way.
Oh.
You actually
Which
use that.
has-
You use that channel, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Topic list.
I find something interesting. It's great for articles to share because then it's like our podcast.
Oh, topic list
isn't-
resource. There we go.
Yeah, isn't fucking cluttered.
Are you talking the archive one?
I'll give that.
Oh yeah, there is.
I'll
Yeah.
give that a web.
Yeah.
I'll give that a thumbs up.
Man, did we talk about the Twitch like bullshit that happened? By the way?
What's the new bullshit?
Oh, never mind then. Don't worry about it. So,
Okay,
anyways,
good.
basically, I'm gonna highlight a couple of things. Here's the first paragraph. Hey, real quick, if you're a Nintendo lawyer or employee, just like don't read this. It was a silly mistake. Ignore this blog. You can go now. Okay, everyone else? And to which my response is, if I'm a Nintendo employee or lawyer and I'm reading that, I'm looking into legal issues and possibly never shipping another game to you. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that a bunch of people are probably a bunch of companies are probably looking at that right now and probably thinking, do we really need to send a video game copy to these assholes? But then the article goes on, and it goes on like every normal article. But it talks about how like Metroid Dread awaits a 2D return to the Metroid. You can read it full via the popular or use open source. You can now play Dread with custom controls, unlimited FPS settings. Some players have reported minor issues with cutscenes and black screens, but according to Use It, and they're talking about the game and how it runs, and this has been a known fact. People have been doing this with Breath of the Wild. People have been doing this with a lot of video games. And especially when it comes to Switch, I think the Switch is like the most like modded console. Like you can find videos of people modding Breath of the Wild actively.
Yep.
And so it's not like something where like I'm like going to sit there and say like, no, don't do that. That's horrible. Because like another thing that happened this week is Halo 3's modding tools came out for MMC, and that was great. But unlike Metroid Dread being modded and fucked up to all hell, that was sanctioned by the developer, and there was custom-made tools for that. And then they released their official tools, which allows you to make custom campaign missions, which is great. But Kotaku, being Kotaku, doesn't seem to understand that there are certain things that you want to say. You obviously want to tell people not to do this, and you want to say in the greatest words possible, you want to say, this is not okay, but please buy the game legitimately. Here's a link to buy the game legitimately. And it's just kind of insulting that they didn't do that.
I'm surprised it didn't do it in a way where it's they still did what they did, but then still had the words "don't go to this website and download it," and "don't use this emulator." Like, I'm surprised it didn't word it that
You're
way.
surprised that they didn't like legitimately ask for a lawsuit?
Oh fuck! And I mean, they could. It's already asking for a lawsuit. Like, come on.
I mean, this is like known facts. It's like games will get modded. People will look into the source code, and they will fucking try to break the game. People will do that for cheating. People will do that for a lot of things. And like,
Or just figuring out what the limitations of a game is and whatnot, or even speedrunners for trying to figure out like if
Doom
I can go through
Eternal.
a wall or not.
Doom
Yeah.
Eternal literally got broken like the first 3 weeks because people found out that like if you spin a mouse button, the mouse scroll wheel enough, you can do infinite jumps.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not joking.
That one's pretty good. I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it became like a hardware issue where people were like trying to find Logitech mice that like could do this. And then there was a run on Logitech mice, which is hilarious. I don't know. Allan, your opinion.
I'm kind of indifferent, honestly. Like I've heard that the game is good for Metroid Dread. I've heard it's really good.
Yes. Yes.
I want to actually kind of see somebody play it. I just don't know who I want to watch right now. Mm-hmm. The fact that Kotaku did this deserves that Nintendo will likely just come down on them with like a brick shit house. And I do mean that in the most literal sense. They will rain hellfire upon thee for this web post and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm just kind of like, whatever. I don't care. Just piss off your Kotaku. Who cares?
Right.
Like this is
right.
for me. Honestly, it's a nothing burger. Then again, I almost guarantee you on Reddit you'd find similar situations and stuff like that where you can talk about Switch emulators and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like, here's the thing: is like, I would not expect this from like, I wouldn't expect this from like a massive media conglomerate.
Yeah.
I would expect this more from like the community per se, if that makes sense. I would expect it more from like people who are going like, yes, I would like to do this, and this is a community that promotes piracy, in which case like I'm gonna go like, okay, you be you. But like not a media conglomerate like Kotaku, who is like fucking massive and still likes to claim that they're a big part of this industry. Like,
Yeah.
god damn it, man. I don't know.
I mean, they kind of are. I mean, they probably still have the views, maybe. I don't know. I think Reddit gets more views.
I think Reddit definitely does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like you're probably still important, sure. But at the same time, can you hire decent editors for once? No. Yes. Can you? Okay. Let's see. Oh no. Nope. You didn't hire a good editor. Nope. Try another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that's pretty much how that goes. It's like, oh, let's hire a good editor this time. Ah shit. Nope, that wasn't a good one. Okay, let's try it again. Ah shit.
Ah shit. Ah fuck.
Fuck.
Shit.
Oh, okay. This one said he's unbiased and he just got paid for doing a review. Fuck!
Shit.
And he bragged about it on Twitter. What the hell?
This guy was talking about how Nintendo should release games on PC because that would be great.
That would be awesome.
I mean, that would be amazing if Metroid Drive was on PC and you could mod it. I mean, I'm saying I wouldn't want that.
I could finally put in my OC as as Samus. It'd be so great.
I can finally just pay as her with just no clothes. She will be the prettiest princess.
Finally, I can mod in the code where she can the nude code like it's meant to be.
Those were always like the funniest mods ever, because like it was always great whenever like I was browsing like Left 4 Dead. I'm pretty sure somebody is making like a Master Chief model where it's just him half nude.
I mean, I think there are those out there.
Those exist, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how is there not one naked already? I don't know.
I don't know. But anyways, now we got to talk about something else. Josh, do you have anything to talk about this week for this?
I played a shooty shoot of a different variety.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I played the B4B, the Back 4 Blood.
Oh, is that just Left 4 Dead?
Pretty close, yeah.
Is it just Left 4 Dead, but worse?
I would say it's better. Because you don't get, like... At least when I was playing it with Noah and the buddies and friends, actually almost everyone on that server is playing the stupid thing. But
because
when
they're
I was
crazy.
Yes, I was playing with who was I playing with? Oh, great! Now I can't remember. But I was playing with someone, just me and him, and we were playing actually the entirety of Act 1. And there's a lot of stages in Act 1. I don't want to say there's like 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and freaking we played through the entirety of Act 1. And yeah, from my experience, it's like it's like Left 4 Dead, but what if they put more depth in there, other than just okay, the other players can play as these bullshit
zombies,
zombie types, and fuck you over real hard. So basically what they did, the developers are like, letting the player control these zombies is, fun and all, but what if we just took that away from the player and just make the zombies, not do that and fuck over the player, but you can actually still complete the level. And I'm like, hey, that's a lot better. Because there's many of a time I remember playing the original Left 4 Dead and being like, oh, let's, getting through the hotel where you're first starting out at, and you're trying to get across the catwalk and shit like that, and then finally you have to walk on the ledge of the building so you can get around the fire that's happening, and then fucking some tank just comes in, and you're like, what the hell? You shouldn't be here.
See, this is the thing. It's like I'm actively like looking at this game. I'm thinking about picking it up because like I really just like I'm like I have Left 4 Dead 2. I don't need this game. And Left 4 Dead 2 is just like more moddable, more everything in the world. But this game just looks like it's like it wants to be so much Left 4 Dead that it goes like above and beyond, and then it's just like
I would say it's Left 4 Dead, but with more depth, because there's a card mechanic in the game where you can make your own deck. But here's the thing about the make your own deck stuff is that you're playing through the campaign and you're playing through like multiplayer like you would be. Every time you complete a stage, and for as long as you keep playing the game, like if you start from Act 1 and go all the way to Act 4, actually that's quite a trek. I think that's like a whole day's worth of playing the video game. But you're constantly picking cards from this stack deck that you personally picked out. So you're like, my play style is like, I want to pick up an SMG. I want to have a silencer on it. I want to have a holster, like not a holster, but like a handle on it so I can shoot it better. All these, you can pick little different things that with these cards, you can be like, oh, I can hold the gun better. My reload is faster. I get more health. I get more stamina. And there's a slew of cards. You can do weird shit. There's also cards where the enemies get buffs and bonuses depending on what random cards they get.
So if you want to be an asshole, you can just build an entire deck full of like enemy buffs and then just like fuck over the entire team.
Funny thing is that the decks that you're building, you're only building a deck for yourself. So you're not necessarily picking the deck for the enemy. The enemy is getting a randomly assorted whatever, and it depends on the difficulty level as well. So when I played it, I'm pretty sure it was just on an easier difficulty, and we were just, I wouldn't say blitzing through everything. We're definitely getting downed here and there, but it wasn't necessarily like, oh fuck, I sure hope my friends could pick me up, and it's like, oh yay, they did. But yeah, it's like, and also, what else? Oh yeah, like, it wasn't too hard, but I'm pretty sure difficulty level is a little less.
Well, that might be a game that like me, you, and Allan should play. Maybe. We'll drag Tony into it too, because that will be fun. Or Ben. Ben would actually be great.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Ben might be very mad at me though.
Why's that?
Maybe.
It wasn't. I didn't do anything except for maybe convince him to play Destiny 2 again.
Oh no.
How is what's oh no?
Destiny 2.
Fuck you. It's good. You would like it. I know you would too.
Oh, probably.
You just are like, I can't give it a chance because it would be fun with other people, and fun with other people I can't have.
The thing is, there's a lot of griping about that game I can go on for. How I just don't like half of their design decisions, but I mean, whatever, they do what they want, what they think is good for the game or the people they play it, quote unquote.
Tell you what, Josh, I will carry you in a Destiny 2 one night this week. Me and Ben will both carry you. We will do some strikes. We'll have some fun. We'll be great. Okay. It will be fantastic. It will be a community. It will be a building experience.
Next time it's on sale,
it's free.
Gift it to. Oh, 2?
Yes.
What?
D2 is free.
Oh, because it went free to play. Now I remember.
Yes. So Allan has no excuse either except for time.
What's this?
Destiny 2 is free to play.
Oh yeah, go fuck yourselves. I've already played Destiny 2. Never mind. I will never touch that game.
Yeah, you just don't like Destiny.
Yeah, I actually have played Destiny and Destiny 2.
I like Brendan.
Don't like the game. I just find it boring.
I like Zip. He sits there and he's like, you're playing Destiny 2? I'm like, yes. And he's like, can I join? I'm like, Sure. Sure, you can join Brendan. It's no issue. So Brendan, like, carried me, Keith, and I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, I should just create a server just for Destiny. It will just be nothing but us playing Destiny. This sounds like a wonderful time.
You can do that. But anyway, conversation back to Back for Blood. So I talked
for
about
B.
the decks, and yeah, I talked about the decks that you can make for yourself, and depending on the character you pick, they also have buffs and like ability, or not necessarily abilities, more of like, oh, this character is another card and she has like 20% more stamina. This character is really good with melee. This character is really good with shotguns or whatever.
So they changed the stats on the characters?
Each character you pick is a different stat. So it's funny because when you're picking a
So-
character from
Hold
yeah.
up. Hold on.
So
Hold
when
on. Hold on. World War Z. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. So they basically did World War Z.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I guess so. I haven't touched that game.
Well, in that game,
It's not as good.
no. Actually, from what I understand, is World War Z's got a really good. Is really good. It's just kind of like a very standard horde shooter.
Yes, and I own it on EGS, and that's the only game I own on EGS, and I wish I could take it back.
That's why you should have bought it on fucking Steam, you slut.
I am going to do that as soon as I can.
But yeah, no, like all the classes like have different abilities and stuff like that. So that's, but in, like not all the characters, because there's I think 12 characters and there's only like I think 5 classes.
Yeah, the way that World War Z works is that each and every single chapter is its own separate characters.
No,
Yes.
not from what I've seen. I've seen you can include a.
You can take different characters from different regions in chapters, but like each and every single chapter has canonically their own separate characters.
Oh well, okay, that's a bit of a different. That's a bit of a different thing than like, because if it was like, yeah, you start the chapter and here's your 4 characters, that would have been more correct. The other difference, what I mean by this, is that you can take whatever characters you want if you're playing with a group of friends. But canonically, if you're just going to play the campaign on your own, you're going to get these 3 characters and then whatever character you choose.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's actually pretty funny because it looks like it. Like from the sound of like each character has its own class thing. I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about that. At the same time, I feel like that's I feel like that's the correct move to make.
Yeah, like it's not necessarily a class thing. It was just more of like, oh, this character can revive people faster. Oh, this character can use melee attacks better. Like it was more of like a buff than necessarily it was like this. Yeah. So it's again, it's like when picking a character is like picking another card from your deck, sort of. Except these characters are like a commander. It's just a special thing you can pick out from the rest of the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not quite like that. I mean, it's just hard to phrase it and how this deck building works. It's just a bit weird. What else? And also the guns that you use in each game, they can be equipped with different muzzles, with different handles, with different magazines, and almost each gun has this.
So they can be customized.
They can be customized. They can have different scopes and shit. But this doesn't it progresses. As you play it, it'll progress. More and more, so you can get better epic stuff to equip to your gun, or even epic guns. You can equip your shit onto that, and it makes it even better. Now, the only thing I sucks when you're doing that is that you can't. Let's say you find an epic gun, and you go, "Oh, the base stats on this are way better than the base stats on the gun I currently have." That, let's say, I have all these epic equipment to, and it's only blue, but this one's orange. Therefore, I need to get this. But it's like, okay, you pick this up, but you can't take the shit off of the other one and put on the epic gun, even though it's the same gun. So you're like, do I go with this new gun? I don't. This one's pretty good. You get as a zombie's kind of gnawing on your shoulder. You're like, what do you think? Should I get this orange one? And a zombie goes, orange. And they're like, oh, thanks. And you just pick up the orange gun and keep going.
I mean, that just sounds like as if like what they wanted to do was they wanted to make a loot shooter, and then they went back to what they know.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. I mean, funny enough,
I don't know
as
how I feel about that.
I mean, as you're running through the levels and stuff, sometimes you find crates and boxes that you can kick open, and you get either ammo or more guns or maybe modules you can put on your guns and shit so you can make it better. Or as sometimes when you're running through a level, you can find more cards to add to your deck. It'll make you either better or worse or whatever. They're random. And that's, I find more interesting, because sometimes you're running through a level and then you just yell to your teammates, oh fuck, I found a card. And everyone goes, what's the card? And you're like, oh, 20% reload. You're like, shit. You're trying to go to get the cards.
Get the card.
You're like, shit, that's good. And it stacks and it keeps with you through the entirety of your playthrough. So I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about the card system I really like is like, depending how long your PlayStation is, and depending on how long, how long you want to keep going for, your deck could be super stacked. Like, you could probably have like 120% reload speed, and your character could just slap the gun once and be reloaded. And like, depending on the gun, that would be super fucking awesome. And also, what else? It's like, oh, maybe let's say you're building a melee character. Your melee character could be just super stamina buffed and super powerful, so you're just hitting these zombies like 3 at a time and they all explode at once. It's like that would be pretty fun. And also one thing I want to add is as you're shooting and killing the zombies, the game's detail of your characters just getting coated in blood.
So it's progressive blood coating.
Oh, it gets to a point where I look at other characters I'm playing with, and I see them just head to toe deep blood red, just deepest bloodest of red you can see, and you're like, oh, that's a playable character. Oh, I thought they were a mesh of, I thought they were a big pile of flesh. Like,
I thought they were just blood for the blood god.
yeah, pretty much. And I'm like, man, you know how long would it take to get that blood out of your hair? Like, fuck.
I mean, it would take a long time, I would say.
Oh, you gotta soak that shit out. Like, oh boy.
You gotta use tomato.
Oh,
You gotta use tomatoes and oranges.
Good luck finding that in the Zombocalypse. Like.
So anyways, we gotta shift gears.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, B4B, it's good. If
yes.
World War Z is about the same thing, then I'm like, I don't
Get
know.
the $45 one. Wait until it goes on sale.
Or get it for $1. Who knows?
Or don't. Who gives a shit? You could probably
Exactly.
get a better game for like $20. Who cares?
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Oh, my buddy bought Nier Automata. That's good for him. He's a good guy.
Oh.
She's a good guy.
Oh.
I had to correct myself there because I'm not a fucking intelligent person.
Oh no, you're not.
No,
Not
not
intelligent.
I'm trying to
Oh.
see if I played any other games this week because I know I played
I haven't done anything this week. I've been just.
I played
Classwork and
Podbarian and
Oh yes.
Halo.
I got an update on that point-and-click adventure game that I was playing last week.
Oh, is it bad? Do you want to confess?
No, I actually really enjoyed like this dumb story that this game, the point and click adventure, the procession of Calvary. It's hilarious. I liked it, although
Doesn't
it's
sound as
definitely
good
not
as
going to be.
Pondarian.
It's definitely not going to be a game for everyone. Because again, it's funny because it depicts Catholic religion, and you know how like when people. They say a lot of people don't like when certain religions are made fun of, and like Catholic is kind of one of those things.
Not really.
Yes.
Not
No,
really.
It's not, yeah, like not really, because I don't care, and I don't think majority of people would care.
No, the Catholic Church really doesn't care if you make fun of it because it's like you
Oh,
gotta.
I
like,
wouldn't be 100% sure, Alan.
No, I guarantee you, because if they did, they'd actually be going after a lot more, quite a few other people, especially comedians who make a bunch of Catholic Church jokes about them and kids.
Yeah, I mean, what are you talking about, Alan? That's a known fact that the Pope, not the Pope, that some people in the Catholic Church diddle kids. It's just a known fact.
Yeah, except for the fact that it's less likely than a teacher.
I mean, teachers are also known.
Significantly less. One. It's like I think it's 1 in 7 students at a high school in a school will be diddled by their teacher. I think in the Catholic Church, I think it's 1 in 10.
That's still.
Oh no, it's still a lot.
Yeah.
But the difference is teachers don't get punished for it. It doesn't get talked about either.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking.
I want you to think about that number again. 1 in 7 students.
That's not.
That's not a good number, right, Josh?
Good.
Would you agree?
Those numbers are terrible.
That's a bad number.
That's.
We need to crank those numbers higher.
I think that's for every 100 kids, that's 13 students. I think.
Christ.
Yeah. Compared to like 1 in 10, which is just which is 10, and even then, I find some of the number. That's also, even though it's 10 students to in 100, or 10 kids and 100 kids in relation to a priest. Don't quote me on these numbers, though. By the way, I just know that the teachers are actually statistically higher to be diddled by kids, mostly because there is more teachers. However, it's also significantly higher just in ratio of kids. But the thing is that with the information related to the Catholic Church and stuff like that, when it comes out, it causes a huge stink. Like, oh, another one. Whereas a teacher kind of gets swept under the thing. Mind you, the Catholic Church has been sweeping things under the fucking table too, and that's something that needs to get.
I mean, let's be honest here.
But again, the Catholic Church doesn't go after comedians for making those jokes. They really don't.
Yeah.
No, they really just don't care.
It's just like, yeah. So like a lot of the jokes in the progression to Calvary or procession to Calvary is like, you don't realize they're making jokes towards Catholicism to the point of like, oh, the first character you're running, like when you get to the time, like this court square and you see everyone gawk at this magician, the magician's like, oh, this oddly looks like Jesus, but he's not saying his name or anything. He's just saying he's the coolest magician ever. And he's like, hey, I need your help with... they also made a joke about him having a kid tied to a rope. Like...
What?
They made a very offensive joke.
Yeah,
A kid tied to a rope?
Yeah, so like there was a it's called the Holy War from the beginning of the game that you're trying to get to this other holy person. And as you're running around trying to complete these quests, you run into the magician, and the magician is like, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm this cool guy, and no matter what I do, people gawk at and think I'm doing miracles, and he does this lame trick in front of you, and you're like, oh, everyone around him is going, this is so cool, holy shit. And of course, you as the main character can see this a lame trick, and you're like, uh-huh. Like, and fucking, and from the get-go, you see that he has this like depressed kid and tied to a rope, and you ask questions about it, and of course the magician just says, don't think about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
No, he's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're like, oh dear. But funny thing is, that's actually an item you have to pick up later in the game, because he gets of course later in the game he gets crucified, he gets stuck on the cross, and in order to finally get that kid,
When's this game set, Josh?
it's just, man, the further I went into this game, the more I was like, holy shit.
The more likely Josh was like, I'm going to hell.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if it hits it.
Fucking yeah, like,
Are you gonna hop down?
Finally, in order to get up, like, he's stuck to the cross. He's like, I'll give you the kid if you can fucking get me off this cross. And he's like, okay, deal. And you have to go find nail or pliers, and then you have to get him a skeleton, so he can fake his own death. Like,
I mean,
boy.
that's kind of convenient. I'm gonna not lie.
Yeah. Like the stupid jokes that are making in this game, I was like, holy shit.
This is how I go to hell levels.
Yeah, exactly. This is how I go to hell. And what else? Oh, and also when the main character, there was a mechanic in the game when I realized, oh, you can just like kill people by just chopping them in half if you ever so feel entitled to do that. It can actually make the game go faster, but you get an alternate ending. So it's like, oh, turns out like there's one point in the game where I was like, this shouldn't have mattered, because a lot of people around like at this time didn't care about a thief getting caught red-handed with like some item that he like he's trying to get out of it, so he swallowed the item that you needed to get. But like, of course, everyone noticed like he swallowed the item, tried to get out of it, so therefore they're roasting him alive on a spit roaster. So you hear him yelling on the spit roaster, and like it turns out one of the puzzles you have to do is make him barf up the item so you can use that later on. But the funny thing is, you're a dude who just murders, everyone before, and you can cut him to get the item faster. But for whatever reason, that's bad, even though he's caught red-handed with the item. So it's like, and also people at the time frame probably wouldn't give a shit. So it's
it's not a noble job, Josh. You got to understand here. You got to be noble.
But they're roasting him alive anyways. So
But
it's
Josh, you
gonna-
have to be noble, Josh. We went over this.
There's also another joke in the game where God himself will pop in and out sometimes, and he'll talk about like why certain decisions in the game are the way they are, and he just talks about how hard it is to program the game and shit. Like,
You don't understand me.
yeah, exactly. You know how hard it is to make this game fun, like to write and get the writing done.
Wow, he sounds like he was talking to some of my coworkers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that needs to be edited out. I don't know.
But,
Probably wouldn't hurt if I edited it out. I don't think.
yeah. So
you can tell Allan's just like,
No, I'm just tired. I stayed up way too late last night. I went to do my workout and stuff.
did you do what I did?
What?
Oh, I went and like did my workout, and then I was like, oh fuck, I fucked up.
No. No. That happened a couple weeks ago. No, what my thing is that I did my workout. Then I got home, I ate dinner, and I sat down and I passed out because I was full. I was content. I was worn out from my workout, and now I'm like, after walking my dog for a 50-minute walk, I'm also now tired from that, and I'm just kind of like, I gotta do reading and fucking writing here in a bit after we finish this podcast, because schoolwork.
Okay. I'm looking at Epic parts, but anyways, we got to talk about something new.
yeah,
Some
I was
dastardly-
gonna say one thing. Procession to Calvary, I like it. It's a little short, but that's fine for nowadays. And also, the jokes. Get ready for edgy jokes. It's full of them.
Is it as
Procession to
edgy as the
Cavalry.
Dave Chappelle special?
I don't know.
Have you seen the
jokes,
Dave Chappelle special?
It's jokes against religion, so it depends.
I don't think anyone would give a shit other than religious folks, and I don't think religious folks are going to take it offensively. They're not as fucking zealous as some people in this fucking world.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's why I did like this.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I recommend it. It's fun. Although, get on sale, because it's very short. But you may talk about your new thing.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, we got to talk about Call of Duty introducing anti-cheat. It's a kernel level anti-cheat. It's already been linked to many people. It's called Ricochet. So, fuck you, Riot. You fucking introduced this horrible thing.
Okay.
Very hurt. So basically, Give me a second. Basically, what ended up happening is Call of Duty introduced a new anti-cheat called Ricochet. Ricochet is a kernel-level anti-cheat, and they've literally spelled out what it does on their website, which is more than enough for them. So I'm going to praise Activision Blizzard because they did something good. They say, the new anti-cheat security initiative is designed to fight unfair play. Here's how Ricochet anti-cheat matters. Full anti-cheat Ricochet brings broad enhancements to security for Call of Duty Warzone, bringing server enhancements to Call of Duty Vanguard and Call of Duty Warzone launching first in Warzone later this year. Is the new kernel level driver on PC. Ooh boy, okay. Do you guys know what kernel level means?
Yeah. That's
kernel level. Isn't that like right next to BIOS, a startup type of shit?
No, it's the level beneath. It's the level above hardware.
Yeah.
That's all it means. So you have your user layer, which is where Call of Duty normally runs. Then you have your software layer. This is where all of the in-game shit, like all of the effects, all of the stuff, this is where all of that stuff runs. Then you have the fun stuff. The fun stuff is really cool. Because guess what the fun stuff is, Josh?
Isn't that like your hardware?
Yes. So this is running below the user level where no anti-cheat should run below.
Oh boy.
Call of Duty Warzone adds kernel level drivers that are given high access level access to monitor and manage your software and applications on PC, such as your PC graphics card, drivers, and all of that fun stuff. Basically, it prevents malicious code from entering the game. That's completely fair. There's one problem with that. There's machine learning now in order to detect online anti-cheat aiming and bot suppression and stuff like that. It protects your privacy. Initial roll call will not operate when you play on PC. The driver is not always on. The software turns on when you start Call of Duty Warzone and shuts down when you close the game. That is actually a decent thing. But, and here's the thing. That doesn't matter because of if you're doing, let's say, web browsing on your computer and you're browsing Facebook and a malicious actor somehow gets into that system, they still have access to the entirety of your computer while it's running. That's why people don't like kernel level shit.
Yep.
Hey, to the people who want to look at my porn at kernel level, could you send me some high def art? That'd be great. Thanks.
I and Josh is taking this like so not seriously because it's like,
oh, I know. Trust me, this is super serious. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, man, like, you know, you want to piss off the world, just make it like the most arbitrary bullshit thing possible, and no one will want to use it.
I mean, like my issue with kernel level thing is like, isn't because like I think the government's like checking my stuff. Let me be honest with you. The government wants something, they'll probably have information of me all the way to Sunday. Lord knows I post enough shit on Twitter in order for them to understand my political opinions. By the way, I don't have a Twitter account anymore, so don't worry about it. I do have alternative social media though. That being said, like if you're going to do stuff like that just, it's just not a good thing in order to say. Like there's stuff like easy anti-cheat, and yes, Epic Games owns it, but credit where credit's due. Easy anti-cheat is actually pretty fucking good, and most people use it for a reason. And now it's running on Linux, which is even better. Shall I continue running the praises? Yes, by the way, I would love to see Josh try to run Linux for a month.
If I can still somehow get most of the games to run, then...
Here's what we're going to do, okay? On your new computer, I'm going to set something up where it's going to be... Josh is going to be busy, like basically told point blank, you have to use Linux for 1 month.
Oh, no.
And then, oh, no, this will be great because you won't break it. And then if you can go 1 month, I give you $100.
No, I don't think I would break it. It would break me because I'd be like, oh fuck, I have to get used to this other operating system.
Josh is going to become like the best Linux nerd ever.
Oh god.
Anyways, joking. That being said, yeah, it's just a kernel level driver, and then they have literally like a thing underneath it. Here's how kernel level drivers work. They explain how it works. The driver allows the anti-cheat team to learn suspicious behavior using data, strengthening or overall anti-cheat. So they're actually looking over the data that's running at the time. So that's great. Ensuring players' privacy is extremely important, and the prospects of kernel level drivers may give some players pause. For those given those concerns, here is how privacy will remain unaffected with Ricochet anti-cheat. That doesn't matter how you... It's the part where Ricochet anti-cheat's kernel level driver only operates while Call of Duty is playing on PC. Josh, do you browse YouTube and have stuff running in the background and do multitasking on your PC when you're playing games?
All the time.
Allan, do you do that?
Yes.
I'm a fucking whore, so I can't lie. I do that all the time, and it's probably going to be the reason I upgrade my computer. That's the problem. The fact that you're taking data from somebody's computer, that's the problem. It's just the problem. You don't want to address, instead of like doing this, you're trying to address a problem, and you're not doing a great job of it. That being said, I wish them the best. I hope it works out.
I kind of wonder at what level they thought this was a good idea, because I bet every single lackey that works there said this is a bad idea. But I bet some higher up.
No.
I mean, I bet people who are smarter just said, "Are you fucking sure?"
Josh, this is like how when Valve sat there and said NFTs are banned from the Steam store, Epic Games immediately sat there and were like, jumped on a bullet and said, we're going to be open to blockchain technologies.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the same kind of thing. It's some executive who doesn't understand. Yeah, it's some executive who doesn't understand what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like some higher up said, no, we're doing this. And then I bet a bunch of other smart people said, are you fucking sure?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, because, man.
It's not even, it's not as bad, but it's like, there wasn't even that conversation. It was just along the lines of like, we'll just get our security team to do it. And the security team went, okay, boss, that sounds like a wonderful idea. Like, people don't seem to understand that, like, there's a lot of people in this world who will just do rank and file things because they can.
Yeah.
And the problem isn't the fact that they're doing rank and file things. The problem is that they're doing rank and file things, and then they're actively like going home and then bitching about it on fucking social media instead of actually doing something about it.
Well, can't wait for this I can't wait for this whole situation to blow up in their face.
I can't wait in order for like an Activision Blizzard leak to happen where it's just player data. Because that would be the most hilarious thing ever. Because people are going to be like, man, like Epic EA is bad. And then this stuff keeps happening. And it's just like, if only Activision Blizzard wasn't worse. If only Activision Blizzard wasn't worse.
Oh no.
Because like EA's like badness is like usually like they'll like do something and you'll just like, no, don't, hurts.
Hurts too much.
Whereas like Activision Blizzard's just like, yeah, that's like fucking straight up evil. Or incompetence, one of the two things.
One of those two things that has to happen.
Yeah. Anyways, we got to talk about Steam. Steam banned NFTs. And so Tim Sweeney immediately shot back because he felt the need to. His Valve sensor was going off. It was buzzing in his ear. He had to make a tweet.
Oh boy.
Fair point to Epic. Gonna give them some praise. Make a pretty damn good engine. Unreal, really good. Some really good games. Gears of War 3, Unreal Tournament. Pretty good games. Okay. Let's talk about this a little bit. Tim Sweetie said, "We aren't touching the NFTs. This whole field is currently tangled up in interaction mix of scams, interesting decentralization tech foundations, and scams." 3 Doritos later, Epic Game Store will welcome games that feature use of blockchain technology and provide the following that are follow the relevant laws, disclose the terms and age related by appropriate ages. Though Epic's not using crypto in any of our games, we are well innovating in the areas of technology and finance. So here's my opinion on this. Don't say anything. Just don't. Because the reason why Valve is probably not doing this is because Valve got sued for in-game items. Now, last I checked, blockchain technology is really good, and cryptocurrency is amazing. It's a really good store of value.
What's this?
And it's cryptocurrency.
Oh,
So, like, when the United States economy just fails because we have an idiot in the White House, not that the other guy was any better. Just keep in mind that cryptocurrency is great, and I agree with it. The thing I have a problem with is NFTs, because they go to fucking artists and they just scan Twitter and create NFTs. And now the artist who originally made the art is now getting sued for is losing out on billions and billions of dollars.
That's
And
one thing I don't like about this whole NFT thing. It's just like, it's just ripping people off from other ripping people. It's like, but I fucking hate it so much.
And it gets better because the cryptocurrency community doesn't seem to understand. They have it in their heads. And this is somebody who, I have some crypto. I'm going to be honest. I have some Ethereum. I have some Bitcoin. I'm actively looking at like getting one of those cards that you can, because we live in Canada, we can get a card that like basically like you put $500 on, and it's $500 of Bitcoin. So then you can just like walk around and spend Bitcoin. So use it for everyday purchases, just as like an everyday emergency fund, right? And I'm trying to think of like my future and stuff like that. The thing with crypto, the cryptocurrency community, is they sit there and they seem to think that everyone is like them, and then they don't realize that that is not the case. And then you sit there and you say, "So what do you? Here's a problem that's going on. How are you intending to solve it?" And they go, "What's the problem?" And you're like, "The problem, this problem I just told you." And they're like, "Well, people should just use it because it's the future, man." And it's like, no, that doesn't address the problem.
It just sounds like hippies at this point.
It basically is, but it's like hippies who like don't seem to understand that like not everyone takes the fucking illegal substances as you. Please address these problems. Like, I'm going to be honest. GPU market. That's completely caused by cryptocurrency miners. I remember the first time that this entire shit was happening where you couldn't buy a gaming graphics card because cryptocurrency miners. The entire cryptocurrency community was like, "You guys should just use 980s instead of like 1080s and GTX 1080 Ti's. You guys should just use 980 Ti's and 980s. They work fine for games." And everybody in the PC gaming community just literally stopped and responded with the words, "Fuck you. You don't understand. You are being a fucking asshole, and you're being selfish because you think that you have $1 million and you don't."
Yeah, it's all. Can't wait for a lot of it just to get more and more laws on it, and then as the value goes down, and those people probably jump off a cliff.
No, because Bitcoin's going to be like $1 million in a year, a couple years.
A lot of the cryptocurrency thing is there's so many cryptocurrencies now.
Yeah.
That the market is flooded, it's oversaturated, and the few that are really good, Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's one other one that's really big.
Doge was big.
No, Doge is a meme.
Doge was always like
Doge is a fucking meme. I don't mean like this is one from prior to all the big cryptocurrency.
Was it Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash?
Nope.
Might be Lite.
Nope, it's neither of those.
Let me look it up. But like my honest opinion is like, I don't have an issue with Gabe Newell sitting there saying I don't want NFTs on my fucking game service, because I think that that's bad. The issue I have is, and I don't have an issue with Tim saying, I don't have an issue with Tim Sweeney sitting there saying NFTs are welcome on our service. The issue I have is that, like, this is a bad precedent, and this is how you end up getting somebody like Epic Game Store in a situation where they cannot recover from, and then you get me sitting there laughing, saying I told you so again, and me responding with the lines, now you lost out on your entire game library, congratulations, you fucked up.
Yep.
Because then we end up in the exact same situation again.
Okay.
And I just...
No. All right. This is what I was about to say about cryptocurrency and stuff like that. Cryptocurrency currency is a good solution in many different ways. The problem with cryptocurrency is that it's a fucking bubble.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And it's gonna be hyper volatile. So much so that it's almost like not worth like using. Because we saw this just recently with what's it? What the fuck is it? Oh, I lost it. Jesus Christ, I lost the entire train of thought. No, because this is actually something that happened with the old gold standard. Gold standard had a cap on it, so you couldn't like have these huge economic blooming effects that happened in history. And a bunch of countries dropped the gold standard, went to standardized cash money, which is what all countries in the world currently use, except for I think maybe 3.
Well, wasn't it something even funnier where they were like, they got like basically like called out, where it was like something like nonchalant, where like they basically were saying like, yes, like we have all of this money in the and then like all of a sudden the world was like, yeah, can we have our money? And then Nixon was like, oh shit, we don't actually have that much gold.
No,
okay,
no,
we're switching gears.
No. They couldn't afford certain things. Like they had to. They had a bunch of debt that came up. Which is kind of what you said.
Sounds familiar.
But the thing is that because this happened, I think in 1970 something. I think this was after Nixon that this happened. They had to take it. They had to get off the gold standard because they just couldn't keep. They just couldn't get enough. They couldn't maintain enough of a stockpile. But the major problem is that if cryptocurrency was done against the gold standard, it would be less volatile, or even like even a more rare metal, platinum. Platinum would be a fantastic thing to set your standard as. The platinum standard, this is what their cryptocurrency is built based off, the amount of platinum in the world presently available for us to extract, mine, use, operate, all those fun things. And from there, you've now got a bit more stable. It's a little, but the thing is that because it's now based off the amount of platinum in the world, all your currencies, now that like you're buying and bidding and balancing out things, suddenly you've got a bit more balance.
Well, crypto is like there's a set, like it basically works on the blockchain where there's a set amount. Yeah. And it's basically like, I don't want to say it's the same thing as like the gold standard, because ultimately there is a finite amount of gold in the universe. But you can go outside of Earth and you can get more gold. You can go outside of Earth and you can get more copper.
Okay. Right now, presently, and even in the universe, platinum is still very rare.
Yeah.
The argument of we can go get more all the time. Well, since we've jumped off the gold standard, there's I think like two or three times more gold in the world now.
Yes.
Because that's how much more we've mined out in the world because we need it. Now it's in our electronics, so it's being used. It's a finite resource that is used and it has to be stockpiled to be of value. So
Yes.
that's what I mean. Platinum is also a product that is used. I think it's used in certain computer products, certain electrical components, and is also used as a as like a certain grade of material for economics. So even though there is like a very finite amount here on Earth, even if you bring in like asteroids into Earth's system and you get like 1.000001 gram per like ton, which is something like that we have here on Earth, roughly. Let's say that's still an exorbitantly small amount. So it's actually a fairly good standoff of your for your crypto. Even though you've got blockchain still producing more, because it's based off the amount of platinum there's in the world. It doesn't like just because you get another crypto coin or crypto value just because you get one. There's nothing wrong. It won't just like suddenly devalue because some major thing just happens and cryptocurrency becomes nothing. Because it's now based off, it now has a backup assurance of, even though it's blockchain, we also are building it off the standard of platinum. How much platinum there's in the world, how much is available to provide backings and stuff like that. It might devalue like Ethereum and Bitcoin a bit, because that's not a bad thing. It might devalue it just a bit. Like let's say it takes 10% off of these two big ones. Takes the top two off, takes down about 10%. That's not a huge drop, and that might actually be a bit more of a stable thing because now you got more people because we now know we got people very interested in crypto nowadays.
Yes.
People are like, of course, people are buying the Dogecoin. People are looking at it's you gotta be very cautious with cryptocurrency stuff like that. That's why I looked at. That's why I say you should probably have something backing it that is physical, like whether that be gold, whether that be platinum. Hell, let's say it's backed on copper, because even though copper is abundant, it's still worth a pretty penny. That's the thing. It's like you gotta. Yes, that was a pun. But you need to have like a healthy balance to like your crypto. And unfortunately, that's the big problem with cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. Is you need to evaluate your stability and long term. And unfortunately, I think that's the problem for cryptocurrencies, is there might not be stability for it in the long run. Whereas, unfortunately, the problem with federally run and privately run banks, which is actually something that I actually watched a video on this recently. They can just print money as you want. No one can stop anybody from printing money, which devalues the amount of money, devalues your dollar, as well as having how much interest on.
I think I know the video that you're talking about.
Yes, as well as the federal interest rate for loans and debts you have in your nation also devalues the thing, which is also a reason why you don't want to be. This is the reason why you don't want to spend more money than you're getting in. And you need to consider like there's a bunch of things that you need to consider for like money that I don't think cryptocurrency is capable of doing just yet. I think it's currently suffering from just like being too volatile for the most part.
A little bit. Anyways, I think that we should end the show, unfortunately, because it's getting close to a meeting. Allan, do you want to finish off your point a little bit?
No, I'm pretty much done. I'm kind of rambling.
Fuck cryptocurrency.
No.
Fuck you. I will end you if you say that.
Kill me with a cryptocurrency. Great.
I'm not going to kill you with a cryptocurrency. That's not what that means.
You sharpen up that cryptocurrency and then stab me with it.
I'm not going to stab you with a cryptocurrency. Why would I stab you with a cryptocurrency? It's easier if I just...
Because it's ironic. A ironic death.
Josh, I don't know if you know this, but you're not that... You're not worth that.
See? Ironic death.
Sure. We'll go with that. Anyways, thank you everyone for listening to Black Man Games podcast. You can listen to us every Thursday on blackmangames.podbean.com. You can also subscribe to us in your favorite podcasting app of choice. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Allan. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we got a meeting to go to.
Okay, bye-bye. What episode is this?
That's something I should know. So if I control the fucking knob in Discord doing this and doing the fucking volume thing like this like crazy, it's annoying everyone. Not great. Just like it took forever to realize, oh, this is still on and this is overtaking this. Oh.
Oh no. Okay. So,
I don't have much.
think.
I don't have much to talk about this week.
well, you know what? You're a big doo-doo head who goes to school, so that's expected.
I should have played a new video game.
Was it Metroid Dread?
It's B4B.
Yeah, Back for Blood.
Hmm.
Saw you playing that. I saw you playing that online a couple days ago.
I
The
was
only reason I started playing it because a friend pointed out, hey, it's on literally Xbox Live. You can just pay for the $1, play for us for the bit, and then just fucking cancel right afterward.
Are you talking
you
about?
only pay for $1.
Let me guess.
I'm like-
Let me guess. Noah has convinced you by telling you to get Game Pass.
For $1? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say this to you: don't cancel, because that service is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It
At the same
is
time, I like
great.
to pay off some certain shit before I get on another subscription service or something. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like, you know what? Like, here's the thing: is like, I am giving you my recommendation.
I actually I was gonna like I know your recommendation is gonna be like it's glowing, and from all this shit I've seen about with Xbox Live currently, it's like wow, this is actually a pretty decent service nowadays.
Yeah,
Just give you a lot of free shit anyways, and it's like okay, yeah, this is pretty good.
it's not like how do I put it? It's not as aggravating as like dealing with certain people online.
Or dealing with Nintendo's online service.
I mean, Nintendo. We have to talk about Nintendo this week.
God, that online service is trash.
It's not just that. Oh, that's something good. Nintendo fucks up.
All right. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Munch, munch, munch.
There we go.
This cake is so good. I'm probably gonna have a dietary explosion afterward.
Are you gonna be? You should just be like Cam and hop into Wordio, and then you and Cam can just have a shit off.
Okay, I'm on the toilet.
Cam from the Wordio live stream on Twitch every Sunday or Saturday. It's every Saturday, and you should watch it, listener, because fuck you.
No, you should listen to that because you're great.
Or just start talking politics in his chat, and then when he goes like, "What is going on?" and ultimately confronts him, I'll be like, "I might have been involved in this, and I am sorry."
How dare you speak politics in this chat? We only speak about dicks in this chat.
I mean, you can do that too. Blair would probably be ecstatic. I'm not joking either. Let's sync in 3, 2, 1.